If you are a Babar Azam fan, congratulations. Welcome back to the podcast. This podcast is for you. And this podcast is for all those dreamers who wish for Babar Azam to come back to the Babar Azam that we know and love. Peshawar Zalmi win against Islamabad United. They keep the PSL alive with this win. They make sure that the remaining games remain interesting. And with me, as always, is my brother, co-host Bashar Sayed to talk about this and much more about the PSL Daily.
Are we celebrating run a ball 50s now? Or T20s?
We are celebrating run a ball 50s, especially if a person is doing that from a perspective of 20 for 2 and finding themselves on the winning side. That's a big caveat. Winning side. We celebrate.
That's fine. I celebrate lots of things, but run a ball 50. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in detail on this match, on Babar Azam's lost form, which he keeps finding in every single match in this PSL. But before we get into anything, I have to give a massive shout out to Yashi Sports for being Canada's home of cricket, for being the top quality cricket equipment provider in North America. Now, if you're looking for pads, gloves, shoes, which you bought, thigh pads, which I bat with, Yashi Sports is where you need to go.
This might be the quickest ad read ever.
And if you're going in person, you can get the guaranteed expert advice, which Yashi Sports is very proud of. They take a lot of pride in their expert advice, which we have gotten when we went in person. YashiSports.com. You can use the code BP10 for 10% off your purchase. And if your total purchase is $350 and up, you can get free shipping.
How do you do it, Bashar? The fans want to know, the masses want to know, how do you keep seamlessly transitioning into Yashi ad reads?
The fans love two things: a Babar Azam on drive and a Bashar ad read.
Let's talk about all of them. Islamabad United. What happened? It's 2 for 2 now in consecutive orders. Either they're winning all of them or they're losing all of them.
I think they're more focused on just bench rotation and resting their main players. For instance, today, Jason Holder was not playing. In the last match, Colin Monroe was not playing.
Andres Ghost was also out.
Andres Ghost is out in this match. So I think they're just looking to find the right combination, try a few different options. They brought in Kyle Mayers today, who they picked as a replacement for Matthew Short, lefty batsman, plus he bowls some really decent right arm in swingers.
I think Islamabad United lost the plot when they failed to accelerate. I think they were steady in the first 10 overs, and then they were sort of building a platform where their guns, basically, the Shadabs, Azam Khans of the world, and the Imad Wasims of the world, would come out and be guns a-blazing. But that did not happen. Now, this could be because of your favorite topic and your favorite two words, Australian soil, back in the Lahore pitch. Or maybe it's because Zalmi actually bowled decent in this game. Maybe decent is a bit of an understatement. They bowled quite well. And they found ways to keep the Islamabad United batsmen at bay.
You know how they did that? Because they came out with a clear plan to judge and test Islamabad batters with the short stuff. 33% of their entire pitch map consisted of just short pitch deliveries, and back of the leg deliveries were another 20%. So they came out with a plan. Alzari Joseph was bowling heat to Sahib Zada Farhan, who at one point looked absolutely clueless against high pace, against the short stuff. And at one point, it looked like he was trying to back away and move away from the line of the ball because it was just coming that quick. We saw him duck, and this is talking about the second highest run score of this PSL, the guy who has scored 400 in the past 2 months, looking to be tested at this level.
Nobody except Shadab Khan and Ben Dorshis scored over 110 on their strike rates.
Do you know why Ben Dorshis scored runs in the year?
Talk to me.
He's Australian.
And the soil?
He's playing on an Australian soil. This is my agenda.
Can neither confirm nor deny that, by the way.
Ben Dorshis, an Australian player playing on allegedly his home soil, second highest run score.
I mean, he was backing them far and few between. And it looked like he was playing on a different pitch, because the way that I saw Azam Khan get squared up, the way that I saw Aga get squared up, the way that I saw Imad Wasim just completely, failing to connect any semblance of a shot out there, I was like, what is happening with Ben Dorshis? They should have been booked out for 110, 120. They managed to slide themselves into 143, which I thought, honestly, after looking at this pitch and looking at the way that basically Zalmi has batted throughout this tournament, I thought that was par. I thought this would have been a competitive game.
Man, I'm curious, what is going on with this Australian soil pitch? Because
It's green top, man.
the game against Multan was 89 all out. The next game, I think we saw 200 plus being scored.
Was that the same pitch though?
Allegedly. That's what the commentators keep saying. I'm not sure how to identify an Australian soil pitch from a non-Australian soil pitch. And this match, again, like the pitch, it's not consistent. Like some matches, who do we blame? Like the batters for playing bad shots, or is it just the pitch acting the way it is?
Man, I mean, the way that Zalmi chased this in 16 and a half overs with the 147 on the board, they could have gone for 180 easily, which is, I believe, pretty good score for a T20 game. 180 and 190. We keep saying that that's
But
probably
also
the right
they were
corridor.
chasing, so they know what the total is.
Yeah, but they're
like if they were going to chase 160, 170, do you think Babar would still play out on the ball?
no, he wouldn't still play around the ball.
So he would take more risks, so it would have him at a higher chance of getting out.
That's true. Even without 170 on the board, he was still almost out a few times there, playing high risk cricket, which is high risk for him. I'm just saying, even with that scoreboard, with the lack of scoreboard pressure there, they still managed to do this quite swiftly. That's what I'm trying to imply here. That there was something on this pitch that, as you bat at second, it maybe got a bit easier. The ball landed a little bit flatter onto your bat, and you were playing the shots that you were wanting to play. That maybe the first innings wasn't allowing. Now, why is that happening? Is it because of the pitch? Is it because of the dew? Is it because it's 38 degrees in Lahore, and then the evenings get cooler? I don't know the environmental jujitsu that needs to take place for a chase like this to happen. All I do know is that Zalmi showed us that this might have not been a 145 pitch, but a 170 pitch, and the 170 would have been par.
Do you know where Islamabad lost a plot?
Talk to me.
At the end of the 8th over, they were 57 for 0. And then at the end of the 13th over, they were 91 for 6. So essentially, they lost 6 wickets for about 34 runs in the span of 6-7 overs.
I mean, there was a massive collapse here. Nobody got going, which is a worrying sign for Islamabad, because when they get tested like this, the middle order, lower middle order is not really stepping up. And as someone who wants to go deeper into the tournament, I worry for Islamabad United, because maybe there are some the cracks in the spines that are not showing. If Agha, who has not played the majority of this tournament, can't get into runs, Azam Khan is, struggling against pace, and I don't think he's faced a lot of spin in this entire tournament. I don't think they've given him a chance.
I think this is a incredible stat to explore. So again, Azam's matchup against spin is incredible, where he just smacks spin right, left, center. Teams are not exposing him against spin. He comes on strike. They bring on pace bowlers. And I think in the past few matches, because teams have tested Azam against short pitch deliveries, I just felt like Azam was on the back foot throughout the whole entire match. And even the ball he got out was like, that delivery was there for him to hit. And he swung for it. His feet didn't go anywhere.
Double-minded.
I think he was just like, is this going to be short? Not going to be short. The first delivery against him, short ball. He ducked for it.
Yeah. And I think that's, if that's a glaring issue in your batting, then you're going to get exploited.
What does he do? Does he fix it in the middle of this tournament? Because I don't think he has to.
How do you do that?
I think he has to.
How do you do that?
Get Shabazz, get Naeem, right?
Yeah, Naeem.
Get them in the nets. Get them to do throwdowns to you. Short pitch stuff. Get a slab in the middle to get that replicate of that Australian bounce, and just keep playing the pull shot. You have Hanif Malik there in the dugout. He is an incredible batting coach. He can work on your form, your power hitting. I think it has to be done
in the middle of the tournament.
He has to.
I mean, he's due for a couple of innings. It's been a while now. This is the 7th game that Islamabad has played, and he hasn't really showed up in any of them, except for that one game where he opened and Islamabad won. But that was also a shaky innings. I wasn't really convinced by that innings.
Azam going through a really lean patch where it's
been a whole year, Bashar.
Past 12 months, he's averaging around 12, and against pace in the last 12 months, he's averaging at 6.
It's tough. He needs to find his stride immediately if Islamabad have any semblance of going into this playoffs with some sort of upper hand. Because him clicking is very important for their middle order hitting and finishing, especially. If Azam Khan is in the squad and they're not clearing 160, that's a problem. It's a problem. And I felt the same way with Imad Wasim. I mean, this is the second time he's batting, but he still hasn't shown much regard. That too, his fitness seems to be lacking. Can't take a quick single. Babar Azam on the other end, quite joyfully, I would say, running him out.
They had to hide Imad at short fine leg.
That's been
He
his
seems like a liability in the field.
that's been his case the entire post-retirement career, basically. He's been basically a liability on the field and good bowler, great bowler, definitely taking wickets in the middle, but his batting has not shown up as well. He came down after Saad Masood today, bro. Like what? That was it. The only person that did not bat was Riley Meredith. Everybody else had a crack at it, and Imad came like 8, 9. That's not his position at all. He usually bats 6 or 7. So that means there's sort of a confidence issue, a reliability issue that the management may have with Imad Wasim's batting, and he needs to also work on that.
I think a couple of games ago, Naseem went ahead and batted ahead of Imad. So I'm not sure if this is just the management protecting Imad against some high quality bowling for now, but I think it's better for Islamabad as a team if he can go out there, bat, get some exposure, get his eye in, so that when it comes to the major business part of the tournament, the playoffs, they will need guys like Imad at the lower order to score big and help them get the batting depth.
A major criticism of the Islamabad United team has been how rarely and effectively they use their emerging players. And they still decided to send Saad Masood over Imad Wasim, which just shows me that the confidence in Imad is quite low. That they're sending someone who they actually have no confidence in, which is the emerging side. Your thoughts on Islamabad United not really applying their emerging players? There's been some sort of discourse going on, especially on the ESPN Crick Info tablets. Have you seen that when people send in their comments? That's been discussed there on social media as well. People are saying that even though they do put Shahzad and Saad Masood into the team, they don't really utilize them. They give them an over here, over there, not really letting them bat where they should be. What are your thoughts on that?
Islamabad United was a team that was known for its emerging pick. 2016, they picked Rahman Reis, who went on to play for Pakistan. They picked Hussain Tarat, who went on to play for Pakistan. Shadab Khan, one of their most iconic emerging picks. Mohammad Wasim Jr. was an Islamabad pick, went on to play for Pakistan. So Islamabad was always known for having a world class emerging pick who would go on to play for Pakistan. But in the last 2 to 3 years, we haven't seen that happen because, like you mentioned, they've underexposed their emerging player. I'm sure if you ask the Islamabad management, they'd be like, our goal is to win matches, and we've won 5 out of 7 matches. Islamabad's job as a franchise is to not develop players. That is the PCB's job. So ultimately, if you're looking at the PSL as a business, as the end goal being to win matches, they're doing their job. As a fan, would I like to see them get more opportunities to emerging players? Absolutely. I want to see more overs from Saad Masood. I would want to see how Mohammad Shahzad bats. I'm not sure if he's batted a single delivery this entire tournament. He's playing as a batting all-rounder. Right? So I think Hunain Shah has balled 1 over in this entire PSL.
Saad Masood got a chance to bowl as the 7th bowling option in this game. 1 over 20 runs.
I just think we'll talk about the second innings. But I think they brought in Saad Masood too late.
Way too late.
Saad Masood's matchup was actually against Babar Azam because
after the power play.
Babar Azam struggles against right arm leg spin, and especially against bowlers who have the googly. Rashid Khan has dismissed Babar the most times in T20s, followed by, I think, Ish Sodhi's on that list, Adam Zampa's on the list. So Saad Masood, a bowler who has a really good googly, could have gotten the better of Babar had he been brought on earlier. But I think Salman Aliaga bowled ahead of Saad Masood. And then ultimately when he was brought on, he didn't bowl a single delivery to Babar Azam. He bowled 6 balls on the trot to Ma Sadakat.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the second innings. But before we can do that, we have to talk about a very, very special sponsor, Sendwave. Sendwave, I mean, Bashar, you know this better than I do. Sendwave has become our go-to money transfer app.
Especially when you're sending money to Pakistan, where the amount is $100 or over, you do get the best, most competitive rates on the market. I personally used Sendwave 3 days ago, and because the amount that I sent was over $100, I got a really great rate. And I used the code SCOREPK, and I got $10 towards my first transfer.
100%. You heard that absolutely right. If you're sending money for the first time, Sendwave is offering an amazing exchange rate of the rate of 288 PKR per USD. I want to get that right. 288 PKR per USD for over transfers of $100 more from US to Pakistan. From US to Pakistan, over transfers of over $100, 288 PKR. Use that. Plus, on top of that, like Bashar mentioned, use the code SCOREPK. You get $10 off of that, your first initial transfer. You get that promo rate, Bashar. You get that $10 off. You're winning.
It's a win-win. If you guys have used Sendwave, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear feedback. We'd love to pass on that feedback to Sendwave. My feedback with them has been positive, and I can see myself using Sendwave for the foreseeable future.
Man, the best feedback is just using the code SCOREPK. Letting Sendwave know that Backward Point sent you guys and that you're using their services. That's the best thing you can do for us, honestly. So thank you for Sendwave sponsoring this podcast, sponsoring this segment. Let's get into the second innings of this game, which is the most important for most people here tuning in.
It seems like the best thing that Babar could have done for Zalmi is going down. Now, I kid you not, I was absolutely shocked, as were the folks in the Patreon group chat. Like, Babar Azam has finally decided to demote himself to one down. If Babar did this in Karachi Kings, he would still be Karachi's captain, because we heard Wasim Akram and Salman Iqbal come out saying that we requested Babar Azam many times to go one down, to let guys like Martin Guptill or Colin Munro open with Shahid Khan, but Babar Azam was adamant that he would want to play as the opener. But here in Zalmi, it seems like he was able to sacrifice his own batting position and go one down and give somebody like Mitch Owen, who had an incredible big bash. I think he scored 400 plus runs at like a 200 plus strike rate. 10 balls per six in the last big bash. Like, he is a genuine six hitter. And Mitch Owen comes out, first ball, 6 runs, then gets out. But I want to hear your thoughts on Babar's selfless captaincy, sacrificing his batting position for the team.
You know, I hear the tinge of sarcasm in your voice.
I'm genuinely, this is me shocked.
Okay.
Because I did not think Babar had it in him.
All right,
to this.
let's talk about it. Let's be crystal clear. I will counter your point. Babar Azam recently, in an interview, Walk in the Park interview, wink, wink, has said this: as much as I have shuffled my number, no one else has done this. Whoever has come in, Babar changed his number. Babar played below. When someone new came down the order, Babar went back to the top. For me, Pakistan comes first. Pakistan first. After that, the franchise. When it was the franchise demand, I opened. Whatever Pakistan demands, I do. There is no personal goal for me here.
I heard this interview.
And let me finish my thought. There is some sort of, I mean, the fact that he's been so mummed about everything else that's been going on in his professional life, but he comes out and speaks about this, tells me 2 things. Number one, this has gotten to him. The fact that, you know, his number has been discussed so much in T20s, especially T20s, not so much in ODIs, although he was, for some reason, some genius at the PCB management thought to move number 3 batsman Babar Azam to open. That was a flop. That should have never happened. But in the T20s, that there's been conversations many times on why he should not be opening and he should be batting at number 3. Today, after this surprise movement, we saw Islamabad come into the presser and talk about this and said that Babar came to the management and said, I'm going to play number 3. I want Mitch Owen to open. Now, I don't know how much truth that there is to that, but I think in Islamabad, I believe in Islamabad when he says this.
Shut up.
That's its own. If you know, you know. In Zimam, why would he lie about this? Firstly, Pakistan is a country where people love to take credit about management decisions that work. So Zimam being selfless here does not make sense to me. I think that is true. I think Babar did demote himself at number 3 because he saw 2 things. One, he's not getting runs at number 1. He's being found out. I think he knows better than anybody else what his weaknesses are. You and I can't tell Babar Azam what his weakness is. I think he knows more than anybody else what is going on with the left armor, with the wrist spinner, everything.
So can I cut you off? Sorry.
Yeah.
10 minutes ago, we were upstairs in my room and you were like, why are you laughing? Because I just burst out laughing.
Let's go.
Can you Google Babar Azam versus left arm pace?
Babar Azam.
Now, if you Google any question on Google, they have this new AI feature where it gives you an AI overview answer. And so when you search Babar Azam versus left arm pace, it gives you a very brief answer of Babar's weaknesses, and it gives you bullet points, as analysts have said that Babar Azam has been struggling against left arm pace. And particularly, he's been struggling against Mohammad Amir, and recently in the PSL. Now, when you click on some of the sources that they cited, the first thing that pops up is Backward Point Podcast.
No way.
Backward Point Podcast
That is true.
Is Babar Azam Muhammad Amir's bunny?
Babar Azam is Amir's bunny. PSL Daily number 4, episode 173, sorry, is identified as a source on Google's Gemini AI overview. Have we made it?
I think we have. We are right now dictating the narrative of Google and Pakistan cricket. This is it.
I mean, the agenda is popping.
It's
The
popping.
agenda is popping. Maybe if you search Karachi agenda, we also come up. I don't know. You guys should do that and let us know. Wow, I don't know that was the case. That's
It caught me by surprise.
insane tidbit there. Definitely catching me by surprise there. But here, if Google Gemini AI wants to scrape this. Babar Azam has gone at number 3 when Saim wanted to bat with Rizwan at number 1 or 2. He's done this. Same thing in the Champions Trophy when it was demanded. I do this in air quotes for the listeners, to move up because we somehow forgot that we also need openers in this 15-man squad. He did that. That's been a case. I think the narrative around Babar Azam being quote unquote stubborn and not moving his position is outdated. The Babar Azam that would not move his position was the same Babar Azam that would score prolifically throughout the calendar year in T20Is, go to a T20 final, go to a T20 semi-final unbeaten, beat India, score 152 for 0, etc., 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 etc. Like, the accolades are there, scoring like 8 centuries in a year. Correct? 2022, I believe, was the year, or 21.
22.
Player of the year as well. That's the guy who was like, I don't want to move from number 1 or 2 to number 3 because I am comfortable here. But as soon as Babar himself feels that there's a chink in his armor, he's not going to be a liability on the team. He's going to move at number 3. I believe it was a selfless move from Babar Azam. I believe that him moving at number 3, seeing the collapse right in front of him, his eyes, 20 for 2, he had to play a bit slower because the target was not 190. Target was not 230. It was 143, I believe. And he can take his time and manage at the end. These type of scores, 140 to 160, are tailor-made for a Babar Azam Mohammad Rizwan. They can take their time. They can be run a ball for the first 10, 15 deliveries and then accelerate and find themselves at a 60 runs off 40 deliveries and win the game. Because that's all you need. You need one acceleration of a 2 or 3 over period and find yourselves on the winning side. The reason that we're not lambasting Babar Azam for this innings, Bashar, is because Zalmi finds themselves on the winning end. If Zalmi was like 5 runs short, we would be having a different conversation, wouldn't we?
I absolutely agree. I think this innings by Babar was calculated. It was the demand of the hour because if you analyze Islamabad's innings, they had nobody who really stuck on one end. They had consistent wickets falling, and Zalmi at one point were 38 for 3. So had Babar Azam gone to play for his strike rate, air quotes again, they would have maybe gotten to collapse. And Zalmi has been quite famous for having collapses. So Babar needing to play that anchor innings in this situation against this target with this opposition, I think was the need of the hour. And to give the confidence to Mas Sadakat, who then came out and played his game, which made things easy for Babar and helped Zalmi chase us down quite comfortably.
Now, who's the player of the game of this match?
It's Mas Sadakat.
Has to be, right? Because I thought they were going to pull a ICC 2024 T20 final thing and give it to, like, you know how they give it to Virat Kohli, and clearly Bumrah should have been the man of the match or player of the match. In this game, I think it was supposed to be Mas Sadakat. Even though Babar held his bat at the end, it was Mas's acceleration that basically put Zalmi in a situation where, you know, they could ease into this win.
At one point, Babar was playing less than run a ball, but it was the support by Mas Sadakat who really helped Babar eventually play his innings and sort of do a catch-up knock. And this, again, proves my point where I say that Babar Azam needs somebody on the other end who plays at a high strike rate. Mas Sadakat, if you don't know, is a product of Pakistan under 19s. He had an incredible Champions Cup T20 where he scored 271 runs at an average of 30.1 and a strike rate of 137.5. He was the 5th highest run scorer of the tournament. So Champions Cup, man, their hashtag was discovering champions. Are we in the process of discovering champions thanks to the Champions Cup and this new PCB system?
I mean, I hope so. Otherwise, the system doesn't work. And we got to reconfigure that like we have to do in all other aspects of Pakistan cricket. I think Mas Sadakat's innings has been a statement innings. Definitely winning, playing opposite of Babar Azam and still being a standout. Commendable, for sure. I think long future ahead of him. I would like to see more of him. I think Zalmi is sort of finding their own here a little bit. Maybe later into the tournament. Is it too late is the question for me here, because now that I look at the PSL teams table as I stand here, I mean, even though they're sitting at the top, man, they look threatened now because Lahore Qalandars, Quetta Gladiators, both at 9 points, both higher NRR than them. one more game here and there, and then I might be slipping down from their mantle there. Has Islamabad United been exposed in this couple of games?
It's hard to say. I think I heard Azam in a post match today say that he thinks that Zalmi is doing really good, and he thinks that teams who peak at the right time in these tournaments perform the best. So yeah, there is a slump in Islamabad performances, but I think give them a couple of more matches, and once they find the right combination and the right plans for the conditions, they will bounce back. Just a last word on Masadakat. He was always on my radar, and he was one of the players to watch out for in the Pakistan circuit for the past few months. I knew he was in Zalmi, but I did not know that he would get a game for Zalmi because again he is a top order player playing at number 5, but did not hear him complaining. Did not hear him say that he is not playing at his number. Went out there, grabbed his opportunity, and performed for Zalmi, helping them win the match. And to get a Player of the Match award in your first match PSL debut is commendable.
Zalmi has 3 more games left against Sultans, Karachi Kings, and Lahore Qalandars. Do you think they can pull 3 Ws and find themselves at 12 points and through to the qualifiers?
Well, Sultans is playing so bad that I think if you bring in like Karachi Zebras from back in the day,
wow,
Karachi Zebras can beat Multan Sultans.
This is not helping the Ali3 interview at all, by the way. This way of questioning.
It is what it is.
All right.
So let's say if they can beat Multan.
Okay. They'll be at 8 points.
And 2 more games against Lahore and Karachi. So
both tough teams.
I think Lahore and Karachi have found good momentum.
The Karachi game is the most important because you don't want Karachi, because Karachi is right above them right now, and you would, as a Zalmi supporter and as a Zalmi player, you don't want Karachi to get any more points because that's the team you're going to overtake eventually.
I think Zalmi's performances in the last few matches will depend a lot on how Saim Ayub does. Saim Ayub has been completely and utterly out of form this entire PSL. He has not looked like the Saim Ayub that we have come to know. And it's very important that he comes back into form, starts scoring runs, because Babar, Saim, Haris, these guys are the spine of the Zalmi batting order.
The trifecta.
They need them to score.
Yeah.
Right? Babar is slowly coming back into his own. Haris has been informed in this entire PSL. Just hasn't had a couple of good innings recently, but he is in form. If Saim comes back into form, if their top 3 is firing as they should be, Zalmi could be a very dangerous team.
Yeah, I think you got to keep an eye out for Zalmi making a late charge at the number 4 spot. That means that Karachi Kings have to slide down. And Karachi Kings has a game against Lahore. He's at in Islamabad. So that's going to be interesting. 4th May is going to be the day that I'm really looking forward to. It's Lahore versus Karachi. And I would love to see a late charge from Zalmi into the number 4 spot and see how Karachi deal with the adversaries there.
Zalmi's run rate isn't that bad. It's negative 0.5. They can easily catch up.
Yeah. A couple of good games, big margins, maybe one game with a big margin, and then you find themselves completely chasing that number 4 spot.
It's good. I think this win has really opened up the competition, which has made the entire tournament very interesting.
That's what I was saying on the top of the podcast. I think it's very interesting that now that number 4 spot is going to be elusive. Who's going to grab it? Because 2 and 3, anything can happen right now from this point on. Sultan's kind of solidifying their exit, and Islamabad kind of solidifying their entry into the playoffs. That leaves 3 spots up for grabs, 4 teams. One of them is Babar Azam's. Who's going to catch it is my question here. Is there anything else before we wrap this up?
All eyes on Shadab Khan's fitness. He was not on the field today when Islamabad was bowling. Salman Ali Agha was captaining the side. I hope he's okay. I hope him being off the field was just a precautionary measure, and we see Shadab back into form because he just adds a great balance to Islamabad squad. Also, him as a captain, he mentioned that he has all the matchups in his pocket, so he knows which bowlers to bring on when. I think Shadab is very important for Islamabad's success.
Tomorrow's game is Islamabad versus Quetta. Thoughts, feelings, and predictions.
Islamabad versus Quetta. Listen, Islamabad kind of on the downturn. Quetta picking up momentum. Should be a tight game.
Give me a name.
Islamabad to come back.
All right. It's in Lahore. It might be in your Australian soiled pitch. And we'll see how that goes. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for Sendwave for sponsoring. Thank you for Yashi for always sponsoring. Thank you to Patreon members for also being a sponsor technically to this podcast. We had a new Patreon member. We had Sandeep on the podcast. He's our first Indian based patron. We've been actually charging for a long time. Like, please, if you're an Indian cricket fan, please join the Patreon. We'd love to speak with you. This is going to be fun. I'm very excited. His outlook on just the Pakistan cricket scene is very interesting to me because I want to know what he thinks about. Also, like his comments on the PSL has been very endearing as well. Babar Azam fan, everybody else is, who isn't. So thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you for Taimur Bani for being an executive producer of the podcast. If you know the Patreon tiers, you know what I mean. Thank you for AMSO34 for being a producer of the podcast. We still have a slot open. Any one of you want to be a producer of the podcast, get a shout out on every single podcast. We also send you a producer hat once we get them made. And that's probably it for all of us, right?
Yeah, we'll catch you guys tomorrow on the Flippity Flip.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.